Hi everyone, this is AJ and welcome back to the channel and welcome to my review for the latest episode of Star Trek Picard, Season 2, Episode 6. Let's talk about it. Okay, so we're at the 6th episode, over the halfway mark now. This episode is entitled 2 of 1, which is obviously a play on 7 of 9. Inferring the Borg situation within the episode. Yes, so now before I begin, I'd like to let you know that this is going to be a spoiler review. There will be spoilers in this. I'm going to talk about it in its entirety. I'm not going to be vague about anything. So if that's not for you, then I suggest you click off now, go and watch the episode, and then maybe come back and watch the video. Just a warning there. Also, if you're new to the channel, then why not hit that subscribe button? I do review Star Trek every week. I will be looking at Strange New Worlds when that appears as well, when that comes on in May. Very much looking forward to that. So, yeah, hit that subscribe button. Come join the channel. Don't forget, get involved in the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts on the episode. I know a lot of people are having issues with the new Star Trek, and I certainly did with Discovery. But yeah, so find out what I think of Picard now. So let's get straight into it, shall we? Let's talk about this episode, episode 6. Okay, so yeah, this episode opens up with Picard having a snooze on the floor, with a little old man coloured dribble coming out of his mouth. Yeah, he's been injured. And then it flashes back 34 minutes and we're at this gala where basically Picard and Laris, or Tallinn as she is in this timeline, you know, this Guardian Watcher type person, they're there to ensure that Rene Picard goes on her space mission, because obviously she's having doubts and she's being fueled by Q as her psychiatrist to not go on it. And these are the events that have affected the change, apparently. Everyone's there, obviously. Rios is there at this gala. Now Rios is enjoying this era that he's in. He's enjoying the world, he's enjoying the food, he's enjoying real cigars and this sort of a thing. 7 of 9 and Raffi, they're there doing what they do. 7 of 9's kind of just enjoying herself, being social around people, because the Borg implants that she generally has inhibits her from being that way. Raffi is still struggling with Eleanor and his death. There is a slight suggestion that perhaps she might turn to alcohol. It's basically playing on themes of loss and depression and how you struggle and handle with that sort of thing at this point. Now, Agnes, obviously, if you remember, Agnes has now got the Borg Queen essentially inside her, and the Borg Queen being in there is kind of encouraging Agnes to be a bit more flamboyant, a bit more over the top and this sort of a thing. And this leads to a scene where Agnes, for one reason or another, I won't go into the plot details, she makes the lights go out, but then she sings a song, at which point my eyes rolled back and I'm like, oh, okay, all right. But this is basically the Borg Queen getting her to release loads of endorphins so the Borg Queen can actually take full control of her body. Yes, that's pretty much what happens. Now, obviously, Dr. Sung is there. If you remember in the last episode, Q visited Sung and has tempted him with something to cure the illness with his daughter. Dr. Sung meets Picard. Obviously, Picard's shocked because of the data, the look. But Sung actually ends up trying to run over Rene Picard, but instead it's actually Jean-Luc that gets hit himself. Yes, he gets hit, and this is why he's on the floor at the beginning. These are the events of that. Obviously, they can't take him to a hospital, but luckily, Rios knows someone. Yes, the doctor that he's crushing on from the earlier episode. So they take Picard there, and they try to revive him, only for us to then be given a story for the next episode where Picard is unconscious, stuff's going on in his mind, so no doubt we're going to get a load of flashback episode next week to Picard and his mother and all this sort of thing, and he's got to sort something out in his mind before he can come out in, and come back to the land of the living, land of the conscious. Now, that's kind of a trope within storytelling, that things, again, it's an eye-rolling sort of like this story's been done to death, where someone's unconscious and they have to battle themselves in their own mind or something, or relive something and get to the bottom of it to bring you back. Yeah, it's that journey of awakening, shall we say. So that's what we're treated to for the next episode. Yes. Now, as this episode went, it felt like not a great deal happened, in a sense. A lot of the episode is them milling around the old Gala, just characters sort of doing bits and pieces, nothing major in the sense of moving the storyline along. Not until you get to the Data and his daughter stuff, where we come to find out that his daughter comes to find out that where he's like playing with genetics, she's essentially being cloned over and over again, sort of thing, in no simple terms. And previous versions of her have died and this sort of a thing. Now, yeah, and again, that's leading into the next episode because she's found this stuff out. Now, I know that the timeline has changed via, or the Renee thing is changing the timeline, but surely now, Q getting involved with Dr. Sung, and Dr. Sung going on his little mad spree in this episode and running down Picard and the things that surely that has diverted a certain timeline as well. Or would have done without the events of Rene Picard. Maybe not to the extent that we saw, but you're messing around with time. I suppose you could argue that time's been messed with anyway, so what else does it matter what you're going to do? But, Q's getting involved after the fact. Yeah, I don't know. It's that timey-wimey nonsense that does it work or doesn't it work? And that's what I'm sort of planning on and thinking on. But there you go. Now, like I said, I know a lot of people has issue with this series of Picard. And there are issues in the writing, and there's agendas afoot in there. You've got the Raffi and Seven relationship. You've got, the female empowerment with Agnes and the Borg Queen and all this sort of thing. But I don't really play into that. It does... I think I've got used to it in TV now. I think that's the issue, is that I've seen so much of it in TV film. It's not going anywhere, so I've got to try and enjoy it while trying to block this sort of stuff out, these sort of messages, and just take it as being a story. And I know that people probably don't are at a stage where they can't do that yet, but I can sort of separate one from the other unless I find it to be particularly horrifying. Particularly bad, particularly sort of drummed into me. And I'm not at that stage yet with Picard, but I can see it. I am aware of it. I am very well aware of it. But yeah, so all in all, great episode. This episode again was directed by Jonathan Frakes, as last week's one was, I believe, off the top of my head. I'm enjoying where it's going. I think that the series has been written, I've said this before, in such a way to appeal to people and what they like about Star Trek of the past. So we're going to latch on to time travel. We're going to latch on to Borg. We're going to latch on to the era that Star Trek 4 was in, and what that gave us. We're going to latch on to the mirror universe with the second episode. I know it wasn't a mirror universe, but it was essentially is. We're going to latch on to these things that work and give you a story that's encompassing all this stuff that you love. I think Patrick Stewart's acting in it is fantastic. I'm not going to knock Patrick Stewart. He's very, very good, and he's always a joy to watch. Agnes is getting on my nerves a bit, I'll be honest with you, in this episode. I like Rios. I like what they've done with his character. He's quite enjoyable now. 7 and 9's always good. Raffi, she might as well not be there. Do we need Data again? I know it's a case of, Brent Spiner, come back, you're a fan favourite, we're going to put you in it. Not required, sorry. yeah, and it feels kind of forced in that obviously Elnor's popping up in every episode. Like, well, we've got to keep you alive in a sense. Data's daughter, you know, obviously she's in the first series. There you go, keep your character, you know, give you something as an actress, something else to do, and the same with Picard's potential girlfriend. In this role as this supervisor. Yeah, it just feels forced in that sense. But anyway, so I'm looking forward to next week's episode. So if you enjoyed that, then let me know your thoughts down below. Tell me what you thought of this episode, whether you liked it, didn't like it, all that sort of stuff. Are you looking forward to Strange New Worlds? Is that one that interests you? Because it certainly does me. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, keep you apprised of all my upcoming content, and have a good day. Take care all, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.